And welcome back everyone to more of the Let's Play Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Marathon, hosted by yours truly, MrESPNozaX. And of July of 1998, Capcom releases the final entry into the Street Fighter Alpha Trilogy, simply known as Street Fighter Alpha 3. Yes. Man, this game is regarded as to many of you guys' favorite Street Fighter game. Not mine, because that honor belongs to Street Fighter Alpha 2. But this game is just great. It's just really, really great. Expanding the character selection to, like, whoa. Like, you will not believe how many characters that this game has. Pretty much, you know, they bring in a lot of familiar faces from other Street Fighter games. Bringing in another character from Final Fight and some newcomers as well. But we are playing the arcade version of this game, so this is the only characters that you'll get right here. I mean, I believe the console version, and I think there's another version of Alpha 3 that has way more characters than what this has. And I'm just really ashamed that, you know, Capcom didn't release those versions of Alpha 3. But I guess, you know, I guess why they didn't do that, because they pretty much, for the 30th anniversary collection, they just released, you know, a bunch of arcade ports for each game. So I mean, I could understand why they did that, but yeah. But anyway, speaking of the character that they brought in from Final Fight, this is one of them. One of the playable characters in the beat 'em up. His name is Cody. Yes, he is now in prison. That's why he's sporting the striped prison suit and, you know, rocking some handcuffs and stuff. So yeah. And you guys are wondering why is he in prison, because in a Final Fight game that's just purely a fighting game and not a beat 'em up, in the ending of Cody, I mean, there's a multiple characters that have pretty much a similar ending as to why Cody was in prison, is because, you know, he kept on fighting Mad Gear, and eventually it got to him to where, you know, they framed him pretty much. And that's why he was sentenced to prison. So yeah, but eventually, no worries, he eventually gets out in Street Fighter 5, you know, and he becomes the new mayor of Metro City. So yeah. But anyway, I forgot that I had to talk about this, because, you know, that's what I do in all of these marathon. In this marathon is the mechanics of each game. The mechanic that they have for this game is called this little system called the ISM, whatever you like to call it. I just simply call it ISM. So pretty much the ISMs are these three playing styles. So there's the standard playing style, the A-ism or Z-ism if you're from Japan, is based on the previous Alpha games, in which the player has a 3-level super combo gauge with access to several super combo moves. So yeah, so this is the one, that's the playing style, the playing style that I'm using is the A-ism and stuff, which is pretty much the same gauge from the other Alpha games. So yeah. And then there is the X-ism, is a simple style base on Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So it's pretty much the super meter from Super Turbo. And it's called, you know, if you don't want to use, you know, a 3-level combo gauge, that's totally fine. You could always go back to the Super Turbo gauge. So yeah. And then the third one is actually called the V-ism, or variable style. Is a unique style that allows the player to perform custom combos similar to the ones in Street Fighter Alpha 2, but cannot use super combos. So pretty much it's the custom combo where you activate the buttons that I mentioned. I forgot what buttons to activate it in Alpha 2. But it pretty much does the custom combo where you pretty much go ham on your opponent, and that's pretty much what it is, and that's the gauge that my opponent just used, which was Sakura. So yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much what they use. A lot of the characters have new fighting new styles, like new moves pretty much. And Alpha 3 also introduces to the guard power gauge, which depletes each time the player blocks. If the gauge is completely depleted, then the player will remain vulnerable to an attack. So as you can see, the guard gauge that's like on the bottom of your health, if that depletes, then you'll pretty much go dizzy. And then, you're vulnerable to get comboed. So yeah. And let's see. And so a lot of the characters that they brought in is a lot from, couple new characters. But again, this isn't the version. But I'll explain to it, because I think I do remember I did face one of them. But first time playing Alpha 3, well, actually wasn't in the arcade or the PS1 version. No, it wasn't. The first time playing this game was actually on the Game Boy Advance. I am not kidding you. In that version, that actually had way more characters than the arcade version, and it pretty much had the same characters for I believe the PS1 version, to be honest with you guys, because like there's this one character. I'll probably do a playthrough of the Game Boy Advance version of Alpha 3 before I move on into Street Fighter 3. So, yeah. Just, to play that character. I'm not going to say who it is. It's, a very interesting one. So, yeah. But anyway, here defeated Adon. But if you also notice, too, there's a lot of more characters to fight against. You now face off against 10 in your traditional 8 from the other Alpha Series games and stuff. So I thought that was actually pretty cool. And here facing off against Cammy. And you guys are wondering why is she kind of dressed up like a little like M Bison or something with the M Bison hat. Well, that's because like I mentioned before, that this is actually this is a prequel pretty much taking place after Alpha 1 and before Street Fighter 2. Cammy was these, army, these, like very private army that M. Bison used, which are called dolls, which mostly were girls. Cammy was pretty much like the leader and stuff. And, Cammy was, the most trusted, lieutenant, general, lieutenant, or I don't know, whatever, to M. Bison. And that's why in Street Fighter 2, when, M. Bison mentioned to Cammy, like, we, had a thing going on. So, yeah, pretty much. But eventually, she breaks out of the spell thanks to Chun-li and stuff. And, she turned good and then decided to work for British intelligence with Delta Red. So, yeah. But, yeah. And I think this game came also around the Marvel vs. Capcom games, too. So, that's why a lot of these sprites look familiar from the X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter and stuff. So, yeah. So, pretty much, if you guys noticed by now, yeah, these character sprites were used for the versus crossover. Here facing off against Rose, the 5th character, which that means we get a cutscene. Ryu, you are not enough. You're not strong enough to win. Or should I say, you could win, but at the cost of your soul. Who are you? Who is that man? Fight me now and defeat me if you can. Yes. That's really awesome. You actually get a cutscene in the middle of your playthrough, which is really awesome. I thought that was actually pretty cool and stuff. And it's at that time it was pretty big. You know, when the Alpha series did this pretty much. Well, not really, because you know you had the character endings for Street Fighter 2 and stuff, but having a cutscene in the middle of a game, man, that's actually pretty awesome. But yeah, here facing off against Rose. So pretty much Rose is warning us about M. Bison, which is that man, you know. She's, you know, warning him, you know, if you fight this guy, you'll lose you'll lose your temper. And what I mean by that is that the evil presence that Ryu has is known as the Satsui no Hado, or at the time it was known as the Dark Hado. So yeah. You must fight with your soul, not with your power. To become a true martial artist is to understand that. You try in vain to look for the answer, but it lies. Keep that in mind, even when you confront that man. But anyway, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and end the video here. Stay tuned for the final part of Alpha 3. This has been MrESPNozaX, saying good night, good morning, good day, whatever time you guys are watching this video. I will see you guys in the next one. Alright, everyone.